Hi BookTube, hi out there all you readers. I have some books to talk about today. I wanted to talk about book clubs. Book discussions are a great way to share your love of reading. And I lead the book club here at Stickney-Forest Public Library. So I have a few books that are good for book discussion that we've done with our book club here. The first one I want to talk about is The Husband's Secret by Liane Moriarty. Now she's really popular nowadays. You might have heard of one of her other books, Big Little Lies. My book club read that and discussed it, and they liked it so much. They said, let's read another one of her books. So we picked this one, and this one was liked just as much. Because I'll tell you, they're compelling, they're fast-paced. Liane Moriarty is like the queen of multiple perspectives. So you get inside different characters' heads, but also she's good at building complex characters. So you have that depth of each character, and yet you're getting several characters fully rounded. And in this case, there's Cecilia's husband is holding a secret that it's been tormenting him, and he can't tell anyone because he'll be in trouble with the law. And there's some heavy issues, but I don't think it gets too heavy. It moves fast. Like I said, a lot of people like this author. She's well liked, and pick it up and try it. And let me know what you think in the comments below. Okay, so I'm going to talk about another one that our book club did that I think is good for book club discussions because there's a lot to talk about. Once We Were Brothers by Ron H. Balson. He's a lawyer, actually, and this deals with kind of like two different dual timelines. One is nowadays, this guy, he thinks he recognizes this other man as someone he knew back in Europe during World War II who was a Nazi. And so then the second storyline goes back to World War II Poland. These two boys who grew up really close to each other. The one was a Jewish boy, and then the other one wasn't Jewish, ended up becoming a Nazi. He tried at first to help this Jewish family that he was close to, and then he just like couldn't help them anymore. But you know, they're like really needing help, obviously, and he's like, I can't help you anymore. So it's kind of heartbreaking, of course, with the World War II aspect. But now, so we're at nowadays, and this boy's grown up, and he said, his name is Ben. He said, I recognize this guy. This is the guy that was close to me. We were like brothers, and now he's living here under a different name. So they're trying to uncover this other guy. Is he really Otto from back in the Polish days? So lot to talk about here, of course. If this Otto is a former Nazi, should he be brought to justice, because he's like a well-known philanthropist now, and he's done so much good. So there's a lot to talk about here. We had a good discussion. World War II is always many powerful stories from World War II, of course, so that in itself is very, very gripping. So Once We Were Brothers. The last one I'm going to talk about is The Underground Railroad by Colson, Whitehead. We just had a book discussion about this, and I didn't know if it was going to be a really good discussion, but it really was, because there is a lot to talk about in here. This follows the life of a slave girl, Cora, during the before the Civil War, and she is trying to escape this, slavery, and she has a harrowing journey from going from her plantation, and then other people who hide her. So it's a very gripping story. But There's, of course, there's hard situations in here. There's some violence, so I want to tell you if that's not your thing. But it's still, it's won some awards. You might have heard of it. I'm sure it's going to be a movie someday. So this book has different sections, and it also goes, it doesn't just stay in Cora's point of view. There's like a short chapter here and there interspersed of other people, from other people's point of view. One from the slave catcher's point of view, who's hired by these slave owners to go, track down these slaves. So there's different perspectives, which really gave it a really interesting kind of feel to this book. And so many people like it. It's very, very popular. But it's good for discussion. You want to talk about these things. You want to talk about race, and you want to talk about just how women are treated, and just so many things that you can talk about with this book. It was a really, really good discussion. So I'm just going to leave it at that because I don't want to spoil too much. So here we have kind of three different varieties of books here that are good for book discussion. So let me know if you've read any of these. Put in any comments below that you would like, and join me next time. Thank you.
If you enjoyed this video, please like the video and subscribe to the Stickney-Forest View Public Library's YouTube channel. Also, like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. The Stickney-Forest View Public Library District, where great things happen.